How's it going, everyone? In this video, I'm going to give you all a point of view of what it looks like to play Fury Warrior and Dragonflight as of today, October 31st, 2022. Please keep in mind that all of this is subject to change as we go into the first few weeks of 10.0 pre-patch and the tuning that still remains. So here's the idea of the build. Basically, it's going to be a crushing blow bleed build, and every minute and a half, you're going to have your goes that basically will be fueled by Ravager tossing down a hurricane. With this, you're going to get 5% increased strength 6 times over 6 seconds. So after like 1 or 2 seconds, then you want to pop your Thunderous Roar. Basically, with Thunderous Roar, I'm going to be running Thunderous Words. Going to macro that with Avatar as well as with Recklessness. When that Avatar procs, I'm also going to be getting a couple of seconds of Odin's Fury. So after a couple of seconds of popping Avatar, then I'm going to go into my Odin's Fury. And that's basically how the burst is going to work. So if you want to just take a picture or pause here, you can look at the talents. Basically, the idea here is to have a lot of uptime on your bleeds. And basically, you're going to be doing a lot of AoE damage for M+. With this current build, I have not tested it, the changes that I just recently made to it. Basically, I added some changes to make Crushing Blow a little bit stronger because our single target was feeling a little bit weak. To do this, though, I unfortunately did have to get rid of Meat Cleaver, so you will be having to hit Whirlwind a little bit more often. You're not going to be getting the 4 stacks anymore that you did get from Meat Cleaver. So I'm not sure how that's going to feel. I'm still kind of feeling around and testing that. This will be, again, my first dungeon trying it. So we'll see how that feels. Basically, the idea here is every minute and a half, you're going to have the go that I had just described. And that's going to basically fuel you through your M+ trash. And then your boss damage, it's going to be pretty much average. It's not going to be anything crazy low compared to other DPS. But it's not going to be anything to really like write home about. So, get our first pack going here. Basically, what you want to do is get enraged. And then you want to throw down your Ravager. Like I said, give it a couple of seconds, like 1, 2, 3. And then you want to pop your cooldowns. And then you want to let Odin's Fury tick a little bit. And then you can pop another Odin's Fury. And that opener was about 200k. I've seen it range, depending on your procs and whatnot, to about like 300. And we got killed. So, again, that's kind of how the opener works. It's pretty straightforward and simple. You just press buttons and do damage. It's not too hard. And pulling cat aggro in the background here. So you just, again, run in, pop your Ravager. If you have any type of like pots, you can use those as well, obviously. But I didn't want to use it there just to pad numbers. Just wanted to give you guys an average. So Ravager, and then from the Ravager, you want to move into your typical build in terms of doing damage, like your Thunderous Roar. This guy at DC'd, I think. But you'll see here in the overall, a lot of the damage is going to be coming from this Crushing Blow. So you want to make sure that you're hitting that as often as possible. It's going to be really good in terms of damage. And you're going to see there's going to be a lot of bleed damage overall as well. So it's going to be coming from your Thunderous Roar, which basically is just Dragon's Roar. That's what I'm going to always call it. And Bloodthirst is going to be another one that's going to be triggering your Gushing Wounds and stuff like this. So basically you want to run in. You want to get your Rage up. You want to avoid the swirls on the ground. Ravager down. Into your big cooldowns. So that stuff didn't live too long, so I wasn't able to see like big numbers pump. But that's kind of like the idea there in terms of how to go ahead and just cast it. So Glacial Fury, that's going to be your pots for this season 1 and probably going into it as well. Basically, you're going to be getting 5 stacks of this blast, and after it stacks up 5 times, you're going to be able to pop off and do a lot of damage, which feels pretty good. So I definitely like the pot. I think it's pretty cool. All right, first boss fight. I definitely see a lot of healers struggle with this fight, especially after like the 3rd wave of ads. So I'm going to hold on to Odin's Fury. I'm not going to cast it until these ads come. All right, ads are up. Enrage. Big bleeds. So yeah, it definitely is unfortunate not having Meat Cleaver. It just feels kind of bad to have to cast Whirlwind that many times, but So Ravager down. Into cooldowns. We do not have our Odin's Fury up, so that was a little bit lower than what it should have been. Definitely let me know what you guys think in the comments below of the build, if there's anything that you would change, if you like the idea of the build. So you can see here, Odin's Fury really popped off there for sure with all those ads, so it's not too big of a surprise. But in terms of helping out our single target damage, usually Crushing Blow would be expected to be a little bit higher, but there's a lot of ads there, so it wasn't truly a single target fight, obviously. So, but it is cool. Since it's hitting with both weapons, you'll see 2 Crushing Blows here, so really the value is like 6.7% of our damage on the fight instead of 4.5. And this guy here, if you're a warrior, you can just kind of hang out, charge right back in. If you want and have, you can pop Spell Reflect as well to mitigate the magic damage. Yeah, so far I like the Dungeons of Dragonflight. I actually just started playing beta this past weekend, so if you guys have applied and you haven't heard back, I actually applied like a year ago. Excuse me. And I just heard back over this weekend. I had no idea I got in until I got on my BNet client and was hopping on live and saw like right above the play button, it said beta available. So actually a couple of my friends got the invites as well this past weekend. 3 of them, to be honest, had gotten it. So they may be sending out more invites now. I'm not really sure what's up with that, but I was happy to see it. Again, I waited about a year to get it, so run in, you want to get enraged, drop your Ravager. And these ads aren't going to live long enough, so it's not really going to be anything crazy, but just a quick 100k. Would have been better if stuff lives. Basically, higher keys, this is going to be better because it's, again, a bleed build, so you want to have things that are going to actually live through the bleeds. So in terms of macros, because I'm sure people are going to ask, I'll show you basically what I use. So for your go, this is going to be macros. You just want to show your tooltip for Thunderous Roar, which, again, it's just Dragon's Roar, but whatever. And you want to basically just have Avatar and Rec on /use. Those are the 2 big ones. And then if you have any type of trinkets, same thing. Just put it on /use. And that's that on overall. Have it on /use so that you can get everything going together as well. So our overall is a little bit low, to be honest with you, but that's because things have been dying so fast. It's only a +12. If things were actually living, you'd be seeing a lot better on the numbers. You can see, like, in a lot of these instances, our bleeds aren't getting anywhere near full duration. It definitely feels bad not having Meat Cleaver. I got used to having those 4. It's been a really nice quality life having that as well. And I'm also not using any like weak ores or anything. I'm just using default UI to track buffs, which also does not feel good at all. To be honest with you, it's just really messy. But I didn't feel like setting up weak ores or importing. Actually, to be honest with you, I can just copy and paste from retail. Just been too lazy, I guess. But here will be a good example of a true single target boss fight. There's not going to be any ads in this, so you'll be able to see what that looks like. In terms of food, I'm using the primary stat increase. Banquet of the Kalor. Oh, I got up a second too early. Feels bad. So again, Ravager, once you're enraged, get a couple seconds, and then you want to pop your goes. Wait like 2-3 seconds until you pop Odin's Fury so that you can get a full duration on your bleeds. Basically, you can watch your debuffs on the boss until the bleed's up before you pop anything else. If you want to really maximize it, or you can have some type of weak aura to track your bleed as well, obviously. And then here is where you're going to see Crushing Blow is the idea that this is going to help your single target, because without the Crushing Blow from Reckless Abandon, your single target really is kind of weak on the fight, so I wanted to fix that. So this is the first iteration of testing this build with that fix, so we'll see how that goes. Also, the 4-piece set that you get from Raid, really nice in terms of getting your executes the proc. It seems like it's really a high proc rate, which is nice. Now, in terms of your goes, like I said, you have about minute and a half goes, and then in between those goes, you're going to have your Odin's Fury come up off cooldown, so you can use that and then have it up in time for your next Dragon's Roar cooldown. This boss is dying really slow. So it looks like Elemental Shaman has the same issue. It's really good at multi-target, but pretty lacking in single target. I'm surprised with the DK. I figured they would be pretty good at pumping single target. But again, it's beta. You never know who's really playing. It could be somebody who's a veteran of a class. It could also be somebody who's literally picking up the class for the first time in like years. So, all right, everything's up. We're going to go into a Rage. Pop a Ravager. Into cooldowns. Into a stun. Into Odin's Fury. Into another stun. Clearly, I'm not too good at this dungeon. Like I said, I just started playing beta, so... It's nice here to have impending victory. That just saved my life. It taught me off. Really should focus on mechanics instead of damage, but just trying to like talk through this as I'm doing it also is a little distracting. So yeah, there you can see, this is why I call it like a Crushing Blow bleed build, is because obviously Rampage is going to be our top damage. No surprise there for a Fury Warrior, but the Crushing Blow is really what's going to carry our single target. It wasn't anything crazy. You'll see like 35 to 45 on our single target, which, you know, for a build that's focusing on multi-target, it's not too bad. But then you can also see here's where the bleeds come in. So you do have your Gushing Wounds dot, your Thunderous Roar dot, and there should be, oh yeah, Bloodthirst from Reckless Abandon. But essentially, that's the idea of the build, guys. You want to just have your goes every minute and a half, and then in between those, you're going to have your Odin's Fury that can get popped as well for every 45 seconds. And it's definitely not the highest numbers that I put out on this. I was averaging like 70s on overall, so I don't know if it's just the pulls or a couple of incidental deaths or just procs and stuff like that. Or it could be the changes that I made. Again, like I said, I did add the Crushing Blow mentality into this build to increase their single target because the single target was a little lacking. So let me know what you guys think about the build, if there's anything that you would change, if you like it, if you hate it, if you love it, if you've seen it. You have already seen it. So here we're going to go in. Rage. Ravager. Give it a little bit to stack up that strength. Now you can see our dot here from Odin's Fury is on. And now that's expired, so we can pop one more. And that was like, what, a 5-pack? And we're pulling like right around like 1 to 150. I should have saved the cooldowns for this pack. That was a better pack. So yeah, I definitely feel like Meat Cleaver's missing in this build. If there's something you guys would take out to add Meat Cleaver, let me know. I'm definitely curious to hear that, because it seems kind of bad not having it. But, I mean, honestly, all it really does is make it so that you have to weave in more Whirlwinds, which does obviously take away from damage from your Crushing Blow and your Rampages. Just let me know if there's a change that you guys would make for that, because I am curious what I could take out for it. Yeah. Trying to warn the healer is a big pull. I think it's his first time doing this dungeon. So gonna rage into a Ravager, into cooldowns, and I'm Sleet, into Odin's Fury, and there you can see 250k, and that's obviously a really big pull. But like I said, I've seen the build get between like 250k to 300k in terms of like having large pulls. Thunderous Roar dot. So we did get full value out of our dot there, which is nice. Things actually lived. So as keys get higher and things start living, this build will just get better and better, which is going to be really nice. I guess I didn't get a second Odin's Fury off in that last pull. So our damage could have been even higher. Looks like my execute's bugged. Good. Oof. Yeah. Say we're gonna rage into a Ravager. Give it a couple of seconds to stack that strength. Into our cooldowns. Gonna let Odin's Fury fall off into an Odin's Fury. Got a 2-pack pull here. Don't really have any cooldowns up for it. Looks like Execute's still kind of bugged. That's weird. Hopefully it pulls both. Nice. These guys are stunnable. Oh, and in terms of the other macros, I got distracted last time we were going over macros. So biggest one I would say is for popping your cooldowns, and then the other ones are just kind of standard. So like your charge I guess I probably don't even need this anymore since we don't need to cancel Blade Storm. I do have it to cancel Bops as well in case doing something dumb. So yeah, you don't really need this anymore, but I think the execute mouse over is really good, especially if you're playing with Frenzy, so you don't get off of your target that you're on. So definitely worth taking that, I think. And then the last one is just the mouse over for Storm Bolts as well. So, all right, drop Ravager. Give it a little bit to stack the strength. Wait until Odin's Fury drops off. Our healer just got Shrek'd by that breath. I'm about to get Shrek'd by the breath. No. So yeah, we definitely lose a little bit of our multi-target damage by going for a little bit of increased single target damage with the Crushing Blow build. But I think it's worth it, personally. Just because it's like a good balance. There's no reason to be doing like 150 to 200k on every single trash pull. Not every single, every minute and a half trash pull. If your single target boss damage is going to be like supremely lower than the average. Not that it was anything crazy low, but I just think that this seems kind of worth it for the single target damage increase. Because, I mean, obviously we're not anything insane, but we're also not super low either, so... Yeah, and that's it. That's the build, guys. I hope you like it. If you have any like questions, comments, or like anything that you would change on it, please do let me know in the comments down below. I'll leave an export option for you as well, so you can grab this if you're watching it during Dragonflight and have all your talents set up, or if you got beta access and you want to try this build as well. Like I said, they are sending out a lot more beta keys, so definitely apply if you haven't already. And yeah, thank you guys for watching so much. Please be sure to stop by and check out the next video that we're doing. In terms of overall, we only hit 55, but we weren't, you know, getting too crazy on pulls or anything like that. But this is what it looks like. It's pretty consistent in terms of what's causing your damage. So it's nice that you're not relying heavily on, like, say, just Rampage or, like, Spirit Bastion or something like this. You really have it pretty balanced out in terms of Rampage, obviously be number one like usual, and then Odin's Fury and Thunderous Roar bring pretty close to one another. And then your Ravager. Here's your Crushing Blow. Most of it's going to be coming from your single target battles. And then your bleeds are going to be a little bit lower, but they definitely helped your damage, like 2% from each. But your big bleed damage is going to be coming from the dot of Thunderous Roar, which obviously almost 10% of our damage makes a huge impact there. So you add that with just Thunderous Roar as well here. You're getting like over 10% of your total damage. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching, and hopefully y'all enjoyed it, and then we'll catch you in the next one. I hope you guys are all enjoying pre-patch and getting into Dragonflight. I know I'm really excited for this expansion, and I hope you are too. Thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll catch you in the next one. Peace.